Welcome to the critically acclaimed Arkansas special, the one and only Doop's Closet podcast. Today, I would like to welcome a returning guest, Jam Top. He's a professional author and the mastermind behind the medieval dark fantasy series, The Harmony, and The Rise of the Devils, a dark western series, and many more. You can find out more about his upcoming projects at jmtop.com, and that's top with two P's. So jmtopp.com. I'm gonna have a link in the below. And today on our podcast, we're going to focus on his soon-to-be released book and audiobook, The Cycle Origins. It's going to be free on Kindle. It's an AI-free creation, all human and pure creativity. So I'd like to just introduce
Thank you.
John Top.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be back. I'm hoping we can do this like every project that I have, just come onto your show is like one of the first things that I do to start promoting. So thanks for having me back. Thanks for saying yes.
No problem. It was a pleasure last time. I feel like we had some amazing stories to just share and
Mhm.
just connect on. And I'm always interested when you have a new project. I think it's so important that like us creators, especially local creators, we gotta stick together, man. So
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
like
Yeah.
that's how
Not too many
we
from
pull each
Arkansas.
other up. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, what's the big project? What's the thing? What's the
S-
scoop?
So so it's the cycle origins is the title of this novel. It's a novella. It's probably the smallest project I've ever done. And it's a science fiction, and it's based on the video game The Cycle Frontier that was shut down, and it died in 2023. The developers canceled any further development, and it's not coming back according to them. But this year there's a big push from the community that's still alive to bring the video game back, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. So I want to from the beginning, I've been in love with the world and the story, and always wondered what would it be like to have a novelization of this world, because they're really all the backstory that you have is very environmental. And me and my buddies between games would say, "Hey, there was this whole bunch of dead bodies over here in this area of the map. I wonder what happened." And they'd say, "Oh, well, this faction killed a whole bunch of people from this faction and left the bodies there." So, and that's all the conversation was. But I was always wondering, how did they get there? What happened? And so, me being a writer, I always kind of I had already begun, even when the story came out, and I never intended to publish it, but I had started writing things, and I would never have admitted it either. But then it shut down, and I was like, well, that's it, no more. And now that the community is trying to bring it back, I want to do my part and put out a story that hopefully brings attention to the video game, and maybe this is the push it could use to be back with live servers again. That way we can play the best video game I've ever played. That's the way I call it. So
Wow, so it's the best. It's
it might listen. It's not a lot of people's favorite. Not a lot of people loved this game. And it was very controversial. It had its problems, but yeah, it had the I love extraction shooters. So that's my jam, and that's what it was. It was a sci-fi extraction shooter, but the setting, the theme, the characters, the guns, the gunplay was amazing, and the guns were just very unique as well. So, yeah, I was just completely enthralled with the world, with the video game, and I'm so devastated that it's gone, and I would definitely pay a lot to bring it back.
Okay, so for the crowd who hasn't like experienced this game before,
Mhm.
like kind of walk me through like what an opening like match scenario would be, because like I can
Right.
probably imagine it. So like where so extraction shooter, that means you're coming from somewhere. So where are you
Yes.
coming from?
So you no, no, excellent. Yeah, yeah. So you're starting at the station above
Okay.
Fortuna 3. It's called Prospector Station, and this is like your home base. And you have your little apartment in this home base where you have your upgrades, and just that right there already is a setting for so much development. Like you could have had, your trophies, you could have had your guns, mounts, all this stuff in your own quarters, right? Your player quarters. But all that was developed was just upgrades to your safe pouch, which basically, if you when you die in a looter shoot or an extraction shooter, you lose all your items. But you have a safe pouch which can usually hold one or two items that you, even if you die, you have it back in your station. So
Okay.
whenever you die on planet, you're brought back, you're teleported to the station, right? And so when you're on the station, you buy guns, you buy ammo, you buy armor, and then you go down with missions to complete tasks for the vendors on station that can get you to buy more guns, better ammo, better armor, and that's how the cycle works. Basically, you level up by doing missions, unlock cool things by doing these missions, and then the objective is to complete all your missions to get to the end. And usually that's one of the hardest things to do because the last few sets of missions, I guess, are just really difficult, but they were always just so much fun.
When when you are at the station, like what is the I guess like how does it look in there? Like is it like a cyberpunky kind of feel? Is it
Mm,
like a Ridley Scott kind of feel? Like what are we looking at here?
yes, yeah. I mean, Ridley Scott's a good way to put it. There's a lot of
Okay.
crates. It's very industrial. You're looking over the planet. You can see the planet from the surface. It's just beautiful. Um, Man, honestly, yeah, Ridley Scott. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, that's pretty much it's what it is. It's missing that like 80s, 90s DVD blockbuster type feel that the Alien movies have. So it doesn't have quite that retro feel,
Feel.
but I mean, it's definitely, and each vendor has their own theme. Like the Osiris vendor is the medics, it has all your medical supplies and everything. The ICA has the it's got the American gun feel, and then if you go to Korolev, it's like the Russian gun feel because I mean the guy even has a Russian accent and stuff like that. So you can that's how it feels, and and so these vendors they have their backstories, but it's all on wiki. It's never in the story. They're not the characters. They don't really interact with you except to sell you stuff and accept missions and turn in missions. That's it. Um,
Oh. That
so
kind of
you don't.
reminds me of like Destiny. Have you played Destiny where
Yeah, I've
like
played Destiny.
okay, I
Yeah,
haven't
bro.
touched it in a
Yeah,
long time,
yeah, I've
but
played
I
Destiny, bro.
oh is
See,
that a Destiny shirt?
yeah. I'm a. Let's see, where is it? I'm a Titan main. Yeah.
Oh, dang,
I got like
okay.
I got way too much time in that game.
I
I
was
got
gonna
Destiny
say,
paraphernalia all around me. Yeah,
oh
absolutely.
man, I had no clue. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I haven't played since the first one because I'm
Yeah.
terrible at shooting games, but I liked it.
I mean, me
Um,
too. I'm not that good. Just because I like it doesn't mean I'm good at it.
I want to be better.
Yeah. Good luck. These
Yeah.
days you can't compete with these 8 and 9 year olds that
Oh,
have
dude, I don't have the
reflexes of
Fortnite.
F1 Formula F1 uh drivers. So,
Yeah, yeah. What I was trying to get at was that Destiny had a lot of their lore, like they would say, like go visit the website, or you know what I
uh-huh.
mean. Like they,
So like
I
the
didn't.
Grimoire cards, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I preferred it to be in there. I like to read. Like I'll read the books in Skyrim.
Yeah, no,
Like
I love yeah, I love the fact that they didn't have the story other than some of the missions because you'll have missions and you'll have a short description. Like some of them, one of the missions is like go to this area on Bright Sands and pick up or find out what happened to this person. And you have like 3 or 4 missions connected to trying to find out this person. And towards the end, you find like the dead body and you have to take the pocket watch back and or stuff like that. Pocket watch is more Tarkov, but anyway, like some sort of picture frame back to the station, and then it's like, oh, well, that's what happened to him. Well, okay, I guess now you have to do this mission that I gave him, stuff like that. So and so I always liked the idea, like, well, if there was going to be a book released about this, it would be cool that it wasn't a part of the video game. It was like separate. Like if you can talk, you can have few things that allude to the characters in these books, but not directly about it, if that makes any sense.
yeah, that's kind of like like Halo, like the Halo books.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean they're a
Yeah.
little bit more close, like in the word one for one, but like how
I don't think
there's
so. I mean,
oh I don't know, I
the
haven't read them.
no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that
Okay.
like the books, even the books related to the Halo video game trilogy weren't really even mentioned in the video games at all. I
Okay.
mean, obviously the characters are like some characters are obviously in them. And I'll be honest, I haven't read anything after Halo 4 came out. So, but before that, I read all the books
Okay.
and they were separate from the video games most of the time. I don't
Okay.
remember any book that was directly connected one for one about the video games, and that was perfect because it complemented the video games. It expanded the story. because it
Yeah.
wasn't a one for one. And that's kind of like without like it'd be cool to have like so for example in the book that in the novel that I wrote about this, that there's a specific it's called a hammer. It's a revolver. It's a special revolver, and that's a revolver from the video games. Well, this character has it named Evelyn, and he's like in love with this pistol more than anything. He loves it more than anything, anyone. And so I was like fantasizing, well, it'd be kind of cool if they would release the skin for this revolver in the game with the name, but no explanation as to what or where this comes from. The only way you could do that is if you read the book and say, "Oh, this is where it comes from," with no prompt whatsoever to the
Yeah.
novel.
That would be cool.
Stuff like that. Yeah, that just gets my imagination just rolling, man. I just want to keep on. I want to do more. Read more, do more.
Well, actually, like, okay, so I do want to talk more about the book and stuff, but like when you mentioned like building a lore space like around, especially even a dead game, like I was thinking,
Yeah,
like I had this idea just the other day. I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, I feel like when companies stop making something for an IP, like if the IP is asleep or dead, like I do think that people should make like things like with the either with the lore or with like just even side games that aren't directly connected to the main line but can still have the aesthetic or like still fill out the lore because I mean it could still be alive. I feel like so
yeah.
many really really good stories, titles, games they die because their licenses and all the resources die with the company or the company will just sit on it and do nothing with it where there are people that genuinely care that genuinely want to see that thing thrive and that like I mean they will build it. I mean you can take for instance like the Elder Scroll series. Like the fans of the Elder Scroll series will build that game from the floor up.
Hmm.
And it's all love. Like I mean they're doing it for free. So
Of
much
course.
so that like
Yeah.
Basidia is like, all right, we gotta employ these people. Like I feel like there should be some type of process that allows people to like limitedly use licenses without like you know what I
If
mean?
you yeah, I mean, I spent quite a bit of money on skins in that game, and I feel like they don't know. Jaeger is the developer of this company. They don't owe me anything,
Mm,
right? But it would have been nice, like, and you'll see this on forums, on comments, on videos about the Cycle Frontier. How everyone said, well, they should have left it on. They should have done PV only or single player mode only. But that's not the spirit of the game. The spirit of the game is a PvPvE, but PvP is definitely a big focus. And
mhm,
um, I I don't know. It's the thing about it is art impacts and
mm,
art moves, and the developers, whether they wanted it or not, in a way, were artists that moved people.
mm,
And you can say, oh, it's just a video game. It doesn't matter. Well, to some people, it's more than just a video game. To me, it was a world. I got incredibly immersed without even meaning to. I've never played a game like this. I played attraction shooters before, but one where you're on a planet that's just abandoned, totally overrun, and then you have these storms. And really, one of the big, most important things about the gameplay loop is you have these storms every 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. If you're caught out, you can get zapped with lightning and it'll do damage to you. So I didn't know this. I got hit with lightning once and I'm almost dead. So I'm like, okay, trying to find a place to hide. I don't have any meds, so I just go into the first place that I see.
mm,
This is my very first raid. I go into this place called Waterfall Labs, and I'm there in a shotgun, just listening to the lightning strikes, just listening to the ambience, just absorbing it all. And it's dark, and I can't really see outside, and I think I see a shadow, and I'm like, okay, so I have my little rinky-dink shotgun. And I'm like, okay, so is he gonna come in here? And I hear the door open, and I'm like, oh my God, he's coming in here. And it's kind of what I mentioned at the very first my I guess prologue to the story. The very first page that I wrote was about that moment and how just that adrenaline rush and like, okay, am I going to beat this guy? This guy has no idea that I'm here. I'm just sitting here waiting for the storm. I'm going to rat him, kill him, and take his gear, or is he going to kill me? Um, and I don't want to give a conclusion to that because it's not about how it ended. It's about how I felt in those split seconds, not knowing what was about to happen and just being again, fully immersed. So that was a moment that'll stay with me forever about a
That's
video game that maybe had about 40,000 people max.
dude, that's actually really, really cool. That's special because like I don't know, the way you painted it, like I could definitely see and I've had experiences like that in a game where like yeah, it just like sucks you in
Hmm.
and you were experiencing like the unknown. It was your first match and with that guy creeping up like you knew the stakes were high. Like it was it. Like it was either
Yeah.
like you going back to the ship
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean,
or
well, I see, I didn't know anything, so I was picking up all this. I was picked up this flower and then this other like piece of metal. I have no idea what it costs. I don't know what it is or what I can use it for, but all I know is that it's in my bag and it's mine, you know? So, later after, so I sunk about a good 700 hours into the game. Obviously, towards the end, I knew the ins and outs of everything and learning it was so much fun.
Mm,
And so, and by the way, this is peak COVID,
mm,
right? So everything's shut down. You don't
mm,
have time to do much else, um, except play video games in your time off. So it was like the perfect funnel into this video game for me because whenever I was in my time off, I just boot up the Cycle Frontier,
mhm.
and that was it.
So in this game, do you have like other classes or how does the character work?
No, no classes.
Okay.
So you have a character and you can choose the gender, you can choose the skin, you can choose whatever you want to use. But it has no bearing on anything. They had skins that you could purchase, like Western skins, or this. Or another cool thing is that they did have a season pass. So at the end of the season pass, you had a special skin, and um, everyone dogged on it because it was like a big astronaut skin. So it was like full white with a large like dome shield, like a Buzz Lightyear shield type thing. And it was just a clear like you're just advertising that you want to get shot whenever you wore it. But it was also kind of cool because it's like, oh well, I just shot somebody who finished the season pass and did all their missions. So it was pretty cool to see that too.
A
And then you
badge of
had
honor.
like, yeah, and so that was kind of the ultimate goal, was to get those things, to get the karambit knife, because if you kill someone with that, or if you have it, everyone's like, oh dude, you did everything. It's just a lot of bragging rights. And I mean, that's why you play looter shooters, is to brag, really.
Yeah, but brag about the loot that you made. Yeah,
Exactly,
that's the
loot
whole
that you
point.
got. And the thing
Yeah.
is that with those skins, you don't lose those. Like you can die, you'll still have your knife skin when you get back. So, or if you die in the astronaut suit, it's not like it stays. You can keep that. And that was the allure for me, is like, yeah, you lose the weapons, all the stuff that you fought hard for, but then again, the real stuff, like this, like I said, that you get to keep the bragging rights in a way.
So when you started writing the story, like how did like okay, so you explained your first encounter and like that was really inspiring. That was the first couple pages of the story itself. But when you started to develop like everything else, like how did your gameplay experiences like directly affect like your writing process?
Um, well, I think that what I wanted to include, if so, this is before when I first started writing this little story, and at the time where I knew it was never gonna, while the servers were live, I never wanted to publish this. I never wanted to put it out. But I basically wanted to include a session, like a raid with me and my friends, and translate that one to one into the story. Whenever you read it, you would say, oh, well, this thing happened to this character. Well, actually, it was the author who played this one character, and this is what he saw. It's, that's what kind of like what the idea was. And then you can't really do that in a video from a video game perspective, because it doesn't make a lot of things happen that I don't know how to explain it. So I did that, and then I had to heavily modify and change a lot of things and try to make it a little bit more interesting, change some dynamics between the characters. So for example, in the book, the story is about a three-man team, or one of the stories is about a three-man team who goes down, and the leader is this grizzled. His name is Russ Nehemiah Tex. That name just oozes regality, just oozes. This guy knows what he's doing. He's been on the planet before. You can trust him. So when he dies after the first firefight, he
Oh,
dies.
no.
And so you have the other two characters who are not as experienced as that one guy going, we got to finish the mission and we don't have the most experienced player with us. And we still have this mission to complete if we want to go back to the station alive. And so that was the kind of feeling like, well, that's what happened to me and my fire team. We had the guy with the most experience got just, sniped. And so we're scrambling, we're running, trying to get to our mission, and we're just getting hunted down. In the game, we all got killed, so that was fun. We all got to start over, but in the you can't do that in a book. I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting. The end result, I'll spoil it. The end result is sort of similar to what happened, but there's more steps, and again, there's more narrative impact, more character development that I wanted to go through. So, but basically, the template of the raid that I had is what I used to build that part of the story.
That makes sense. And I totally get that. Like I've had experiences like have you heard of the game Lord of the Fallen?
Yes, yeah, I was actually just playing it just a second ago.
Oh, word. Oh man, dude,
Yeah,
we
because
on
I
the
heard
same vibe, bro.
they were doing these updates for free, and they're like people are making videos about it. So I've been wanting to like try to get into it.
Dude, me and my wife we beat it. We streamed the whole thing. We streamed it from boom boom. That's why my sleep schedule was all fucked up. We
Yeah.
were playing it like at 3 o'clock in the morning, like slaying demons. But what I was trying to get at was that like when I was going through that game, I felt like to me there wasn't like there was something about like the environment and stuff that like I was having a hard time like kind of grasping all of the information. Like I was almost like information overload with like the lore and stuff like that. So like me and my wife just started like making stuff up so that we could remember what was happening because you had to backtrack sometimes or like you get lost in the place. And we wound up like having like I got really inspired as a creator. And I like wrote like a little story about how we fought like one of the bosses. And I was like, dude, like that feeling of like yes, there is so much more like as a writer you have to fill in the gaps of like a perspective from a player character, but it does leave you like enough I guess void space and creative like privilege to like really make something epic from the perspective of game characters. And I think I think that you could really capitalize off of like some of the events, not just in like Lords of the Fallen, but any game that you're playing and want to write about. You can capitalize off of like the big boss battles and stuff like that without having to divulge exactly what it is. So like you can almost like talk around it like from the experience perspective and then like if you know the game well, you'd be like, "Oh, dude, he's experiencing,
This
the
part right here, this
yeah,
well,
yeah.
that's kind of the issue with the Cycle Frontier is
Okay.
for my part because the game doesn't exist anymore. So you can
Oh
read the
shit, yeah.
story, but you can't experience exactly that. So my biggest challenge for this is trying to write it in a way where if you've never heard of the Cycle Frontier, you can still understand and absorb the story that's being told to you. So when I sent it to my beta editors, I told them well, they've never played the game. So that kind of made it easy because they have no idea. They didn't even know this video game existed. Right? So I'm trying to establish this world, these characters and try to make it so that they can follow along in the story and not be lost. I don't want them to say, "Hey, who is this character? Is this in the video game?" or "I don't know what this thing is." I'm having to explain things as if it's the first time anyone's hearing about it. So that's probably the greatest challenge in all of this is to try to get it adaptable for someone who's never heard about it.
Yeah, and I guess like that inability to play in contact with the original medium, like that is
Yeah.
kind of like that's like missing one of your five senses, like a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Um,
And there is a way to play there is a playable version that the community is that they have. There's a build out there, but it requires a lot of downloads. It requires file editing. It's
mm,
not a simple install like most Steam games or most games in general.
okay.
And I haven't done it because it's just so extensive. You have to jump through so many hoops, and it's not complete yet either. Like you can't extract all the items that you find. You can't take it back with you. So it's not
Okay.
complete, but it's what we have, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
that's so
I'm waiting until
unfortunate.
it's more yeah, I'm waiting until it's more a more complete version that you can extract with, that you can build your character with, and the according to the developers, which is just a handful of amateur developers for this game, they're using all their resources to come up with that. Now, here's the biggest issue. They're doing this without the publisher's blessing. They
Oh.
don't have permission. And
Hmm.
so it would be extremely easy for them to send a cease and desist letter. And the same could be said about me. They could do that. They could say, hey, you're using the cycle property. Don't, don't. Well, so what I'm trying to do is exactly what they're doing to bring the game back is make it absolutely for free. You cannot give them money.
Yeah.
You cannot, which I would. I've already asked. I was like, hey, can I support them? And, because they're doing all this for free, the answer is
Yeah.
no, you can't support them. So for this novel, I'm absolutely going to make it 100% free. It's going to be on ebook. The audiobook is also going to be 100% free. All the work that we're doing, all the work that I'm putting into it, I don't want to get paid for it. I'm
Hmm.
that passionate about this project. I want it to be the best that I can be, but I just want people to enjoy it like I enjoyed the video game when I played it. But yeah, it's going to be on my website. And if you have a Kindle or ebook reader, download it straight to your files and it'll appear there. That's the medium. And this project releases 7/7 of 2025. So
Awesome.
I'll be putting out a video. This is the first promo that I'm making for it, and then that's the release date is July 7th.
That's awesome. I think that the like what you guys are doing and the amount of community support to resurrect the title that you guys loved, even when it never had like expansive numbers, like you guys fell in love with it. Like it was you guys had
Yeah,
that world
it
was
felt like
yours, you
it
know?
felt like our corner of the game sphere and it was ours. I know a lot of people feel that way about certain games, MMOs of the past,
Yeah.
and that's how I felt about the Cycle Frontier.
Like when I heard you talk about that, like it kind of makes my heart bleed because I had a game that I loved and died, and it tore me up. So I used to play Dungeon Fighter Online. For the longest time, it was like a Nexon game on PC, and
Mhm.
you can just like, I mean, it was like a pixel based, like 2.5D beat 'em up dungeon crawler, and it played like an arcade game, but it had like it was a full blown MMO, and you can make your build, and it was just really fun. It was my first time I ever did like any type of competitive PvP. I never read the story. I clicked through it all, but I was there during the closed beta
Yeah.
all the way up to the death. So I was there from the beginning to the death.
Yeah.
And when it died, like there was I felt it. Like I did. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like that feeling
Yeah.
of like where is my internet home? Like
Hmm.
like where'd it go? And it was down for like I think 2 or 3 years, and eventually another company picked it back up, and they reboot they kept it going,
So
and
they brought it
everybody
back.
poured, yeah, everybody poured back into it,
Wow.
and it's still out, it's still open right now. And I remember when it came out, like I was just so hyped. Like I was on every Twitch stream, like
Hmm.
watching, like, oh man, it's coming back. Oh man, it's coming back.
Yeah.
And then like it finally came back, and I'm like, yes. And now I don't play
Yeah.
it anymore, but
Oh no. Yeah. I mean,
but
that could very almost be the case.
well, it's because like I mean, personally, this is just a little bit of my part. It's just like the game got to the like okay, so when I first played it, because I played it in the closed beta in the beginning, like all the basic dungeons were hard, like you could actually
Hmm.
lose and stuff like that, but they made the level cap like so high, like you're getting to like level 120 and stuff like that, so they made all the the old dungeons like so easy that like you could just streamline through it, and I was like,
Also, like
oh,
really, really casual, I guess. Made
it
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 for
was so, no,
casualized it, kind of.
to the point where all you had to do was touch the enemies and they died, and like that was
Oh, that
it, and that was
sucks.
it, and that's that gameplay for all the way up until like level 80, and I was like, that's not fun. Like, why'd they do that to my game? Because I loved that. I loved the grind to level 80. Like that shit was fun. It was hard. You couldn't do it by yourself sometimes, but if you played well, you could. And then like right now, it's just like this push to end game, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. But
Yeah.
just to like continue with the ads, I'm running the ads right now. So there's this game. There's this game that just came out like oh dang, I can't even remember the name of it. It's like something Atlas, like Stars of Atlas or something like that. And it just came out. It's on PS5, and I'm sure it's on computer. It's free, and it's there. It looks like Dungeon Fighter. It has all
Stars
the
of Atlas.
yeah, yeah. Check if it's Stars of Atlas. I mean, you don't have to, but. Yeah, I
I
think
mean, I
it's
want to. I like sci-fi games.
okay. Yeah, then check it out because this shit is like it's Dungeon Fighter but in
It's got to
3D,
be
and it plays good. It looks good. I was playing it on PlayStation last night.
PlayStation. Yeah, it's probably a
Yeah,
PlayStation exclusive, maybe.
no way. Let me look
No,
at it. Now.
maybe
Now I
I'm
gotta find out.
wrong.
Now I gotta find out. Now I gotta find out. I just saw it on my feed just a second ago. They're doing a freaking promotion with One Punch Man, and I'm about that. Like, I heard new season of One Punch Man's coming out, so I just let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I
I
like I
don't.
like science fiction games. So
Okay, yeah. So it's okay. It's called Crystal of Atlan. Crystal, not Star. Crystal of Atlan. And so yeah, I don't know. It looks good. It's a dungeon crawler. Like I said, it's
yeah,
instance based. And I really enjoy it. Like it plays good on controller. That feels good. I'm such a controller guy.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
even back in the day when Dungeon Fighter didn't have controller support, I figured it out.
yeah.
Because I'm like a cripple on that keyboard, bro. I can't do it. But anyway, sorry, I just had to go off and share so much with that because
Oh,
like I just
interesting.
really wanted to like bond over that experience because I totally get it. When you're home, your
Well,
internet at home dies.
well, let me
Like,
ask you a question.
okay,
Is it better to have your home, your favorite video game cut off or like and gone forever, or to grow to hate the video game that you love? And it's still alive, but you just don't play it.
dude,
Which one?
I actually no lie had this conversation with my wife after I stopped playing Dungeon Fighter.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really happy I get to share about it. Like there's hope that maybe they could change it, but I
So at
doubt
least if
it.
it's still alive, there's still hope type thing.
Yeah, like that. Like, cause I mean,
I
they have
think,
all the
yeah,
assets, you know. They don't. They probably won't. But
yeah.
like, I see it, and I'm like, maybe if I just run through the dungeon naked, I could just
Have
still
more, have that
feel.
challenge. Yeah,
But
yeah,
you know, I feel like I would probably miss it a lot though if it wasn't around. You know what I mean? Like if it just disappeared,
yeah.
I would probably always be thinking about it. But like now that I know
That's
that it's
me.
here,
That's me. I
like
think about this game a lot and I can't play it. I mean, that's the way I'm with Destiny. So Destiny is really the game that I've played the most. I have
really
thousands and thousands of hours.
okay.
So, and I hate that game so much right now. I
Why? What
refuse to play it
happened?
on
What did it do?
principle. Oh, the Bungie, the developers are extremely greedy and incompetent. And now everyone sees it because Marathon is kind of exposing them all.
Who's
Um,
Marathon?
Marathon. So there's this game. It's a game that the creators of Destiny are trying to publish. It's an extraction shooter. Interestingly enough, it's a
Okay.
sci-fi extraction shooter, and I have zero interest in it. So
Okay.
that's what's funny. I'm an extraction shooter player in love with sci-fi games, and I don't even want to touch that game. So
Damn.
it says something about like the marketing, the gameplay experience looks terrible. It's
Mm,
just really bad. I mean, I'm just one small voice in the choir, like the myriad of choirs that are dogpiling on this game.
mm.
So I thought Marathon would be the place for me to, a Cycle Frontier refugee to
Yeah.
go. Absolutely not. Which is so sad. It could have
Mm.
been if it had just copied the Cycle Frontier, slam dunk.
Right. Yeah.
But they decided to do something stupid. Well, a lot of stupid things. So.
What's the stupid stuff? I don't know. What's going on?
Okay, well, okay. So I mean, first of all, it's an extraction. It's really a hero extraction shooter.
Okay.
I don't like it, hero shooters. I don't like Overwatch. I don't like those kind of games. I like to be able to make these characters mine and be able to play them the way I want to play them. But that's just my gripe with it. I don't like and I don't like the art style. A lot of people are like, "Oh, the art style is really good." No, I don't think it is. I think it's pretty cheap, pretty Roblox like because it has a lot of like harsh corners and it's just not to me it seems very lazy. Like why add creativity to it when you can just make it a Windows 95 style art. I don't know.
I'm
I
looking at it
didn't.
right now. I'm looking at it right now, actually. I'm checking this thing out right.
Yeah,
Boom, it's all right. I'm checking this out right now.
I'm not a fan
Um,
of it at all.
okay, so it's got like the way I would describe it would be like a highly simplistic. It's not highly simplistic. It's like a simplistic art style, like color scheme. Like the colors are like mostly white, a little bit on the
A little bit of
flatter side.
yeah, a little bit of
Um,
green.
yeah, yeah, and then like they have like a highlight color of some sort. I think it's kind of stylish. Like, I mean, it doesn't look like anything I've played before, nor
Yeah.
am I interested in. But, but
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
see that they could do more. I see what you're getting at
I
here.
mean, you have this is an extraction shooter, and one of the character's abilities is a shield. Another character's abilities is to go invisible, like to go invisible.
Um,
How is that at
Generic.
all? No, but I mean, dude, it's so overpowered. Like you
Mm.
just if you're getting a firefight, go invisible
I mean,
or
yeah.
bring up your shield. You know, you're getting pinged down, just bring up your shield. And I understand that you can still kill these players, but I mean, dog, it's gonna take a minute. And you can you don't actually so you can go down, but you can still be rezzed, and then you can completely die and still come back to life in the game if your team makes it out. Like if they survive the firefight, they can bring you
Mm.
100% back. But obviously, this is just the play test and the betas, so it's not like the game isn't out yet. It's supposed to be out in a couple months, which I don't. They definitely need to delay it because it's gone through a lot of controversy. But the biggest thing right now is that they stole the art that you looked at.
Yeah.
It's all stolen,
What?
all of it.
Oh, snap.
And they got
That's juicy.
exposed. Yeah, they got exposed about a month or two months ago, like very
No
shortly after the
way.
playtest. It turns
Yeah.
out that like so much of their assets they stole to the point where the artist put in certain tells in his own art that they
Yeah.
just copied into the video game. So you can
No
see like
way.
it's just straight up evidence that they're just putting it in their playtest that they stole assets from these artists. And
I'm
this
looking
isn't
at
the
it right
first time
now.
that they've
I'm
done it.
looking at this right
Yeah.
now. It's serious. Like it, guys. Like
It's
look
huge.
this shit up. This is actually
It's
pretty
so
funny.
big. Yeah.
I'm looking at the one where like it looks like almost like an angelic figure with the triangles behind it, and I'm seeing like a side by side. I have a shirt that looks like that actually.
That's the
But
Destiny one. That's one of the examples that they've shown that Bungie has done this, I think is like 6 times in the past where they've stolen art from the artist and not credited them.
that's
And
terrible.
they had a little mini stream apologizing and saying, oh, it was some random developer that did this and they're gone now, which is a great scapegoat.
Yeah, right.
Excellent way to, and they'll tell you, well, I take full responsibility, but this is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, no one buys that anymore. You guys are scumbags.
Okay, so like I really want to get back to talking about your story, but I have a gripe to pick with the video game industry right now, and it's
Yeah.
been a minute since I've talked to somebody that's passionate about game like the state of gaming too.
Hmm.
So like I mean, so I'm just gonna have some few questions about
Okay.
how do you feel about okay, so how do you feel about the state of the video game industry right now?
Ooh.
And what do you yeah, what do you think? We'll
So,
start something blanket.
yeah, I'll tell you this. Officially, I don't take any political stances. I don't take any anti-social, does that make sense? Stances because that's not, I want to argue. I'm not here to be controversial about that type of thing. I want to focus on the writing. I want to focus on the stories. Um, as, but I can answer your question. I'm very excited about the way things are going because I feel like I think the focus of making a video game should be to make the game fun. I
Hmm.
don't care. So I'm an escape. So I made a post about this not too long ago, but I am what you would consider escape artist. Not like I can get out of an escape room very easily because I probably couldn't, but I want to create a world that you can escape to from
Hmm.
that would be a relief from this world. So having political, cultural, social commentary in my books, not only would it date my books very badly, but it would also pull you away from the characters, from the story, from their motivations. So I just think that we're now getting artists and creators and developers back into video games that are focused on making these video games fun and immersive. And let's just, who cares about what's going on outside? People don't play video games for social commentary.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, I understand that maybe some indie games here and there that are about social commentary, and that's if that's their objective and
Yeah.
that's they have their audience, that's go for it, you know? But when I play Destiny, I want to play a sci-fi shooting aliens and all about guns. That's all I care about. I don't care about the developers. I don't care about what their personal inclinations are. They don't care about my personal inclinations as a player. So,
Hmm.
it's that mutual respect. I think it should be about the story, should be about the fun. Video games should be about the gameplay.
Yeah.
So that's my official response, I
That
guess.
was a good one. Yeah. I do feel like
To be long-winded.
for a while we had a time where a lot of games were getting politically influenced by
Yeah.
of outside or even politically motivated HR departments. You have the
Yeah.
State
Oh,
Board of
that's a good one.
Gaming and all that. And I
Hmm.
know that when Doge started activating and they cut the a lot of these projects like that were being funded through US aid, a lot of those companies that were working in the HR departments for these video game developers actually died out as well. So it's kind of wild to see how like the twisted branches of like politics could somehow weasel its way into all forms of media. I mean, we saw that seep into the the movie industry big time on movie industry, but it did get in and start to affect the games. And I was actually genuinely worried about that because I love games. Like games have always
Yeah.
been my sanctuary. I'm not the biggest reader. I love reading, but I'm not like that's not how I escape my world. Like I like to escape my world through video games. I'm a visually stimulated individual. I
Yeah.
love looking at really cool art. I like being in different places and I like seeing it and experiencing in there. And I do feel like for a while I felt like we hit like this point of stagnation where I didn't see any new IPs being made, but I saw a lot of either remakes or sequels, and the sequels weren't bringing anything new to the table a lot of the times. I would say
Yeah.
that for like probably like the new Spider-Man. I felt that for like and some people you can argue with me on this one, but I didn't
Uh,
really like the
I'll
new
argue with you about you.
Ragnarok.
I will argue with you on Spider-Man because I feel like Spider-Man has been exceptionally good.
Uh-huh.
Up until what was the most recent the most recent one was with the three Spider-Man, right? That's the most recent
That's the
Spider-Man.
most recent one. Yeah.
That's I think all of the Spider-Man have been great. And I think that's the only good thing I can say. I liked Ragnarok.
Yeah. You liked
I
it?
loved.
Okay,
No, I'm
I
sorry.
played
Sorry. Hold on. Hold on.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. I loved Ragnarok. But go ahead. What were you gonna
Okay.
say?
Well, I was gonna say because I missed the God of War games and then I played them back to back, and so like I
Oh, you're
played the
talking.
first
I'm
one.
sorry. I thought you were talking about Thor Ragnarok. Since you're
No,
talking
no,
Marvel.
no, I
Oh,
wasn't.
okay, okay.
Yeah, sorry I didn't get to
You're talking
finish
about
it.
God of War.
Yeah, God of War.
I haven't touched the second one yet. I played the first one.
Bro,
I loved it.
I love the first one. Me too. I like I
Yeah.
said, I played them back to back. So I beat the first one and I was like, all right,
Mhm.
I'm on a killing spree. Let me play the next one. And then the next one, like
Was it not that great?
yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, it's not that it's not that great, but like
Yeah.
there was something like a magic that was missing from the first one. And I can boot it. I had them both installed at the same time, so I was like, all right, let me. Am I tripping? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I know you could do this. It's the same gameplay kind of experience, but I was like, but I'm not seeing the freshness. I was like, it feels stale. And I've noticed that with a lot of the games that have been coming out within the last like 5 years. I've noticed like the enemy variety in the games are less. I've noticed that like the environments are less active. Like you don't get to move around, like move the things in them as often. You can say that for a lot of the like the Bethesda games. I can't remember what was the one that came out. Starts with an A.
The
Um,
what?
there was a Bethesda game that came
Oh,
out.
I'm not
I
familiar.
think it was like Avalon or something like that. I could be wrong. But I'm just saying that I've experienced a lot of games within the last 2 to 3 years that I feel like are relatively new that were hitting this point of stagnation in creativity. And I feel like they were cutting so much corners or they had to like meet a certain deadline in order to get the game out that they would just put out anything and know that especially for big name titles that their fans would just eat it. For instance, like I mean Pokemon. Like I'm a Pokemon fan. I love it. I'm not embarrassed to say it. That's just how
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
But I love me some Pokemon. The last Pokemon game that came out so broken, and I feel like I'm sure it's gotten better, but
You're not going to
um
go back to it.
No, well, that was I always felt like I was like, you can't mess up Pokemon. The formula literally doesn't change. So, like,
Hmm.
I can't hope for much innovation, but like at least be consistent, like be good. And they didn't. And I was like, yo, like I pre-ordered it for my birthday. Like it came out like right next to my birthday. So it's like my little child self like getting its
Like
feed. You know what
inner
I
child is
mean?
happy. Yeah, of course.
So when it was disappointed, like, oh, this game is not working, I got a refund. Um, a part of me was just jaded. I was like, I'll never do this again. I'll never do it again. I'll wait until the game comes out and goes on sale. And now I'm just now I'll just wait until you're like $20. Like I don't buy anything new anymore.
Yeah, I'm that way with the new Doom.
Oh,
So I
let's
really
talk
want to
about
get
it.
it. I really want to get it. I have the soundtrack. Let me tell you, I go to the gym every day. That gets that pump going just right, man. It gets you just real, like just ready to slaughter some demons. But then I look at reviews and I'm like, well, it's not my type of game, really. Like I said, I'm more of a high risk, like extremely high risk, extremely high reward type of player, and it doesn't appeal to me that type of gameplay. It doesn't. I mean, I guess I could play on hard mode and like it would be extremely difficult, but stuff that's keeping me from buying it. The reviews are very mixed. It's not as lauded as Doom Eternal. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I do hold certain reviewers um their their bars. I hold them in high regard. You know, if someone like Yak Man or Angry Joe puts out a video saying, "Hey, this game is trash," I'll listen to it more than I would some kind of game company, Game Informer, or I guess it's not a game reviewer anymore, but like Kotaku and stuff like that. I don't write
Yeah.
like they can review whatever they want, but they've put out some positive reviews for games that I consider garbage,
Hmm.
and I feel like these more personal YouTubers are more grounded in reality and more honest too. So,
Yeah, a good way to say it is that their views align closer to yours than maybe
well,
a more
it really
mainstream reviewer is.
it's possible, but I just think they have less to lose, which allows them to be
Mm,
honest and
okay.
they'll give me their honest reviews. So it's for
Yeah.
that reason I'm going to wait until Doom is, and I will play it eventually, but I'm
Yeah.
going to wait for it to be on sale and
Mm.
I'll wait a little bit longer, but I get to listen to the soundtrack and the
Well,
soundtrack
bro,
is pretty good, man.
but I mean, you could also just like whip out that. Oh wait, do you have a good computer?
Uh-huh.
I mean, you could just get the Xbox Game Pass and you could just play it.
I do have an Xbox.
Dude, just get the Game Pass. You can just play
Uh,
it. Like you don't have to, I mean, unless you want to own it. I get it. If you want to own it, I mean, by all
no,
chance.
I'm just it's just Steam games. I didn't realize it was on Game Pass.
Bro,
Well,
yeah, it's on Game Pass.
I
I
guess I
just
could play it
I don't
then.
even play Game Pass that often, but like just
I
recently
yeah.
I got it set up downstairs because we just got done streaming like Lords of the Fallen, so we're like, what are we gonna do next? We've been playing Dead Rising 2 for like ever, dude. I fucking hate that game.
I,
Uh,
I got a I got a question for you.
oh, okay.
So you were talking about video games that have come out in the last 5 years. Well,
Yeah.
I just played a game that is brimming with just art, just extreme innovative passion.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of Expedition 33?
I was literally about to say that.
Dude,
We're on the same subject. Okay,
yes.
so okay, I was gonna say that I got the damn Game Pass going, and I
Uh-huh.
realized that you can play Expedition 33 on the Game Pass, and you
Yes.
can also play what is it, Metaphor? That's another one that just came out.
Metaphor. Okay.
Metaphor, and you can try out Doom Eternal. So Xbox Game Pass is kind of a bundle right now,
I just
bro.
to play my I mean I guess I could play Xbox on my PC, which is really I didn't even cross my mind that it was on there. Um
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, Expedition 33, man, have you touched it yet?
I'm going to stream it for the
Dude,
first
the
time
ve
tonight, right after
tonight,
this,
really?
bro.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch you watch it and just I'm just gonna
Okay.
say this. The intro mission, the intro
Uh-huh.
level, it left me stunned.
What?
It
Is that good?
almost had yeah. It
Ooh.
okay, so listen, I have two boys.
Okay.
My oldest is 4, my youngest is 2. In the scene towards the very end, something happens and you come back to these two boys, and they're like hugging each other, trying to comfort each other because something just happened. Anyway, I was like, it started. You'll see it, and you'll know what I'm talking about because it
Okay.
happens right there. And man, that got me, and I'm like, okay, now I'm invested in this world. I want to know what happens next.
Okay.
And so the prologue leaves you with so many questions, but it's that art. And by the way, I guess I'm just dumb. It seems the combat, I can't get it right. I suck at it. But I'm gonna keep on trying. But yeah, it's talk about art and passion, dude. This is it. Expedition 33 is where art meets video games, and
Ooh.
this type of video game will move you. I have a feeling like everyone's saying has good things to say about it. The
Hmm.
way the intro level left me, I'm certain I'm gonna have a good time.
Okay. Well, like I said, we downloaded it downstairs tonight. I will
Yeah.
be streaming it on Nikki and Jay Plays on YouTube.
On
On
on YouTube. Okay.
YouTube, yeah.
I
And
can't believe I don't have you here. What is it
oh, it's
called?
all good. Yeah, yeah, I get you. It's
Nikki
Nikki, yeah,
and
Nikki and Jay Plays.
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and am I spelling it right? Is it all one
Nikki.
word?
Yeah, maybe it is all one word. Try that.
Just so that, and also for our listeners to be able
And
to
yeah,
check
yeah.
you
So
out
NickeyAndJayPlays. Nikki and Jay Plays.
so that's your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have a few. I have that one. That one's for our
I
me.
got you.
That's for me and Nikki's live streams. We just go on live and we play and tell jokes, and we're usually pretty inappropriate. And
Cool.
then I have another one called Jarrell Pays Attention, and that's like little a video like I put all my like shorts and like family clips and stuff like that. It's really fun. If you, I
Mhm.
mean, it's just me being goofy. But if you ever want to just, I guess for some reason look through there,
Yeah.
Jarrell
Well,
Pays
cool.
Attention.
Well, you just got a sub. I just got you.
Awesome. And then of course we have the Dupes Closet, and
Yeah.
that's mostly on Spotify and everything else. But it's on YouTube as well. I just don't upload consistently the podcast onto the YouTube. There's a reason behind it, probably because I talk too much. And so I
Yeah.
like
I
keeping it
mean,
on
I figured that
Spotify.
I've talked quite a bit. I mean, to finish off, I
Sure.
guess, what I have to say, what I have left to say to talk about this book is
Oh
that
yes.
um this is one of the scenes I'm actually about to read. It's the character is has gone through a lot at this point. This is one of my main characters, and she finally has a reckoning, and basically she gets fired from her position. And
Okay.
this is after having survived bullets shot at her, after um, so many other events that put her life extremely at risk. After all of that she's done for this company, the company now decides to fire her. And so I'm gonna read this poor part if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go for it, man.
So Nick bit her lip. You are dismissed, Dr. Clark. That's it? Things get a little complicated and you're giving up? A little complicated? It's not as easy as all that, said the Admiral, stiffening her upper lip. There's a lot you don't know, Nicole. My plans aren't done, but this one's over. It's all a great money sink, not worth our lives. Well, I haven't given up. Even if I am a lone, singular voice in the darkness, I will shout and not give up. Please, you got to keep fighting for this, I beg you, said Nick, taking a step to her and clenching her fists. I remember the day you hired me as well as you. You said Fortuna 3 was your lifelong dream. Now that dream is mine. How dare you take from me what you held so dear now that it's no longer financially viable to keep going? How could you turn your back so easily on us all? The Admiral cocked her head and gave a soft smile. How dare I? You never realize how good you have it until it's gone. I've had enough of you. Get out of my sight.
Oof.
And then the scene ends. But that section where she says, how dare you take from me what you held so dear now that it's no longer financially viable? That's me speaking to Jaeger because this was their dream. This was
Yeah.
their passion.
Hmm.
They showed it to me, and now it was my passion, and they took it away.
I love that,
And
man. But
so
also
now
terrible.
it is, yeah. I mean, I put it in context of the character of, all this frustration, you survived so much only to be thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
And for what? For absolutely nothing. And so I had to include this is that moment. Now, obviously, Jaeger has gotten a lot of hate. And what happens whenever Jaeger talks to the community, they always have their shield up because they've received so much hate. They don't even interact with the community quite as much anymore. If you say
No.
something that they don't agree with or doesn't align with what they've said, they will ban you from their Discord.
What?
They don't allow any kind of conversation, any kind of
Oh,
criticism at all whatsoever. So I had
damn.
to think of a way to express my frustration while also demonstrating that it's about the game that they created. I'm frustrated with you because I no longer can be in your world. Not
Yeah.
because I hate you or because I think something personally about you. And that's what I think is misconstrued.
Mm-hmm.
The developers think that the community hates them.
Mm.
No, the community hates the situation that we're in because we can't be a part of their dream, the one that they brought to us.
Oh,
So it's not that
that's
we
like
hate
so
you guys.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty tough. It's tough out here being a
I
Cycle
hope they
Frontier
hear.
fan.
I hope they hear this. I
I hope
hope
so.
that
I hope they see. I
um
want them to read this story and be like, "Hey, it's it's not hate. It's
yeah,
passion.
it's passion.
This me. I built this world around their construct that they made in Fortuna 3, and I created these characters and this is it, by the way. As far as right now, there is no continuation. There is no sequel. There's no plans to move the story. The story does not conclusively end. It still could continue.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the only way I will write more about the Cycle Frontier is if I get hired by Jaeger. That's it.
That'd be awesome. And then
Maybe
maybe
if
you can
there's a
handle.
community feedback or like such a community, I don't honestly expect much because the community is dying because
Yeah.
there's no new players because there's no players at all anymore.
Yeah.
So the people that played the game that were passionate about it are gone. So the audience is
Yeah.
extremely small.
But the
But we're
thing
still
is,
here.
yeah, it's good that you're still making that place for them to go, because like you never know, the literary aspect may take its wings. And so like even if like say Jaeger for some reason doesn't agree. They don't like any of this. They're not happy with it.
And they shut me
You
down.
yeah, but but the thing is like your passion project will still have fans. You know what I
What I
mean?
what I'm gonna do if they shut me down, if they send a cease and desist letter, I'm
Mhm.
just changing all the names and putting it
Do
back
it?
out. And then I will probably monetize at that point
Yeah.
because it's no longer a Cycle Frontier. It's no longer in that spirit of being free for the community.
Yeah.
So if they send me a cease and desist letter, which is very, very likely, honestly, I do expect it very shortly after.
Mm.
Um, that then I'll do a Twilight. I'll uh I'll just change all the names and repackage it as something else and move along. Probably. Probably.
Well,
I don't know. My desire is that they will reach. I mean, if not them, then somebody else. Because I also want. This is also kind of like a self promotion too, because I'm pulling all the bells and whistles, all the editing stuff, I sent you the cover art, right?
yeah, it was good.
This guy, I've worked with this guy for 7 years, 8 years. He's done all my cover arts, and I'm just gonna go to him every time. He doesn't use AI. It's just him.
Hmm.
And by the way, I know that we want to talk about AI, and I definitely want to talk about that too. So
Yeah,
we'll put it we'll
actually I
we'll
was
put a
so
pin in
immersed in the
that.
gameplay I forgot about it for a
Yeah,
second. I'm not gonna
and not until I
lie.
brought the AI thing, because
Yeah,
he doesn't.
yeah,
He just he's been a raw talent from
yeah.
day one. Emilio C. Rodriguez, by the way, if anyone is interested, first of all, if anyone is interested in getting their cover art done, reach out to Emilio C. Rodriguez. If you, for some reason, well, obviously you need his contact. If you need it, let me know. Send me a message through my website, or send me an email at authorjmtop, T-O-P-P, at hotmail.com. If you want his contact info, because not only is he extremely talented, he's also extremely underratedly cheap. He
That's
is
good.
he has charged me for projects that I'm like, this is ridiculous. You cannot be charging me that little
Hmm.
for this insane amount of talent. So, and as with most artists are like that, a good artist is going to be like that. That
Yeah.
I'm not going to say is going to be like that, but most like really good artists are just not very they're just very humble, man. And that's what this guy is. He's very humble, but man, is he very talented. So
Hmm.
anyway, if I'm plugging him in here too because he
Yeah,
deserves it. This guy's
yeah.
from Spain. I've never spoken to him, never met him. Is just through emails, and we've been working together. I hope one day I get to meet him in person. I'm gonna try to do it if I, as long as I continue publishing books, I want him to be my cover artist.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome when you build a relationship, like a good working relationship with someone, even if
Yeah.
they're like on the other side of the planet,
And we
but
don't
their work
talk
is good.
until, yeah, we don't ever talk until I
Yeah.
have a project ready. So when I send him an email, he knows that, hey, it's for a project that's about ready to
Yeah.
launch, and this is like the last final steps. Um,
That's epic.
so and no AI.
No,
It's just
yeah.
hand drawn, completely just his. So it's my imagination saying, hey, this is what I want. Good luck, and he comes up with what. So the cover art for the Cycle Origins is, I didn't ask necessarily for that. I was kind of looking for a character cover art, but then what he sent me, I felt exemplified a little bit better what fits with the story. And so I didn't even put any. I put one or two edits about gun placement, but everything else remains the same. So
Mm, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it sounds like he does good work. I know I liked his cover art for Rise of the Devils. I thought that was really good. Like that bright
yeah,
red background, that ripped ass freaking crocodile guy. Like that,
yeah,
it really stuck
yeah.
in my mind. It was impressionable. He did a great job.
Oh yeah, I
Great
I
work.
cannot
Great
wait to
work.
continue my. So right now, what I have on the docket, I guess, um, I'm working on the Ashen Queen, which is the finale to the Harmony trilogy.
Okay.
Um, I will be promoting it in the cover art for the first time at the Ren Fair here, the Renaissance Fair.
Oh,
I'm gonna have a little stall there. I'm gonna be up in a costume, and I'm gonna be promoting um, my dark fantasy books with the third one to come out next year, or
wow.
if not to be announced, to come out next year, if that makes any sense. So I'm about halfway through writing that one, and it's a big project. So don't hold your breath about anything anytime soon, but it'll be worth it. It'll absolutely be worth it. I'm tying all the loose ends, and
Okay.
it's going to be a completed story. So
Oh man, that's exciting. And yeah, you guys are always like you and Noki are always doing something. Like
yeah,
I see her
and I hope
post
to
these
be on here
movies, man.
too. I hope to be on here too. Like every time I have a
Yeah.
project or some kind of announcement, I'd like to start here.
Oh,
You
awesome.
know,
Yeah. I mean, you always
start
have a home.
start here.
We
Yeah, awesome.
we got the last episode was with Smoothie Q or Quinn, who this guy is incredibly talented. For one, he was the head musician of Rocket Coma, and two, he owns like a smoothie shop like here in Fayetteville.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, yeah, and this guy is such a rocker, man. So if you ever get a chance, check last episode. He's
Okay.
awesome. But in Fayetteville, definitely check out Smoothie Q's smoothie shop.
Okay.
They have some delicious stuff. It's all like homemade, like all natural ingredients. Like he actually really breaks it down for you. If he's there when you go, he'll tell you everything about
I
damn
like me a good
smoothies.
smoothie.
They're amazing and they're cheap.
Um, quick question: are you going to be at Bookfest? Are
I
you gonna
might
Are you gonna
like
go?
when is it?
Shoot, bro, I don't know. I sent an email to the organizers to
Yeah,
like see if I could get a stall like I did last year.
yeah.
I haven't heard back. I don't know if I missed their email. I don't think so. I've been like looking for their response. Maybe it's
Mm,
too soon to
mm,
like too early because it was like September, or I think it was September of last year that they
okay.
did it, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
Um,
know. I can't remember. I have to look
I
and see
can't remember either.
when it is.
Hmm.
But I've been wanting to get like an art book done. So I have like tons of art material, but I
Oh
want to
yeah,
scan
yeah,
it and like make it into like something nice that I can show to
yeah.
people. But I've never done that before, so it's taking me a little bit of time. But I actually there's an art competition for veterans art that's coming up next month. Like on the 16th, that's when we're submitting our artwork. And so I've been kind of like busting my balls like on that one. I'm in like training mode because I haven't had like a reason to make something really like expressive before, like in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is my first veterans art tournament. So it's like
Hmm.
my DVZ arc. Like I've been training every day.
Well, I mean, I appreciate your art, dude. I remember
Yeah.
after the last episode, I introduced you to Silent Planet, and then you sent me that picture that you drew, and
Yes.
that's what like that song from theirs kind of inspired you. So I
Yeah,
appreciate it. It's pretty. I think you'd do great. I think it'd be
thanks.
great.
Thanks.
I'd go to
Yeah,
it.
thanks, bud. But
I'd go. I'd
we
check
were
it out.
gonna do I was gonna get a spot at Crystal Bridges. They
Oh
were
yeah.
doing a veterans art thing there. But what wound up happening it was because of the Doge cuts. The
Oh
VA lost the
yeah.
funding for that one. Or no, it got held up. They were like, "Hey, we got to do it. We're
Hold
gonna
up.
do it
Okay.
next year." And because of all the cuts and stuff like that, so they're
Mhm.
like, "We'll do it next year." And they're gonna keep me on the loop and stuff. But they said they were gonna give me like a whole venue. So next year, so next October, not this October, but next
Yeah.
October, I will have my own spot at Crystal Bridges, and I'm gonna tear it up. Like I have so like you can't see it, but I have a bunch of like framed artworks like that line um my room
I mean,
here.
yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to
And
go see that, man.
thanks, bud. And yeah, I would love to have you there and just be like, That's John Top."
Yeah.
Like,
No, no.
I hear he writes books. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I'll be-
Little promo there.
yeah, yeah, I'll be your professional positive gossiper. I'll be like, I heard he works
There
out
you
every
go.
day.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I should, maybe we can cut that out. No, I'm just kidding.
but
No, man.
okay, so one more. I got a few more questions. I know we had some questions you really needed to cover about the book. Do you feel like there's anything that we missed? Because I know we kind of like organically hit a lot of the things, a lot of the
Um,
topics that you wanted
well,
to bring up.
well, I think one of the things that I wanted to mention about it is that this is a traditional fan fiction.
Okay.
It's a traditional fan fiction, and historically, I've been against fan fictions. I think that they are. I think it's a creative sink where you're. I have big problems with fan fiction, right?
Okay.
So having written one, I think after all that we've discussed, I've allowed myself to do it because, and here's the reason. I think where you could do a fan fiction, you could also do your own world with your own characters and original stuff. And it could be just as good, if not better, if it were your own idea.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Having said that, the reason I'm allowing myself to do this is because I I want to, again, for the community to try to bring this back. Um, and these characters aren't established. They're not. They're unique. They're new. They weren't. I have a few characters that are like some of the traders come into play into the book at the very end, but they're not main characters. They're just red herrings, catalysts
Mm-hmm.
for the story. Um, and that's really about it. Other than that, I think that's it. The biggest hurdle is to make it accessible for people who've never read or never played a video game.
Yeah.
So that
You
way,
know, I
if it never comes back, you'll still be able to understand it.
consider this like when you do release it, if you can get as many of those people that are on the Discord that like actually would actually want to immediately ingest this product or digest the book, you could get them on an email list, and that way even if you were to get like some type of cease or desist or anything like that, you can still personally share it with the people who you have that passion with.
Oh, yeah.
And when you have an email list, like that's money. You know what I mean? Especially for
Mhm.
any online creator. So I just want to bring that up. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I, I don't want to get that cease and desist.
Yeah, no, of
But
course.
obviously, like I said, it's probably going to happen. Um, dude, that's gonna suck. But
It won't
we'll
happen.
just
It's not
have
gonna happen.
to.
Hey, hey, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not gonna
that
happen. It's not gonna
I'm.
happen.
Yeah, I
You're
hope
gonna
it
love it. They're
doesn't.
gonna read your story. They're gonna be like, bro, this guy cares. I like this
Yeah.
guy.
And I
And
mean,
then that's
ideally,
it.
somewhat a different because I do want to write books for video games. So
Mhm.
ideally, some other developer will come along, read this, and say, "Oh, this is the kind of quality that this guy writes at." Um, I kind of so like I said, it'll be like a calling card saying, "Hey, well, you don't have to hire me and then find out. You can find out now what I can produce and hire
Yeah.
me for it."
Ha-
So,
Have
so many video games that I play, like Hunt Showdown, doesn't have novels. I mean, Destiny doesn't have novels, but I don't. I've trashed Bungie enough here. I don't think I'm ever going to be talked to by them. They're
yeah.
never going to reach out to me. But I like indie developers. Like there's this one guy. This one developer that I was working with to create something, and the video game unfortunately never came to be.
Oh,
But I had already started preparing work and preparing certain assets for him. And what would be cool is to actually work with a video game developer to create assets like descriptions and stuff like that hand in hand with a book, with a novel.
That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty sick. Where it was like, hey, you're
Yeah.
playing the video game, you pick up an item, it's got a description, and you move on, you don't care, you put it in your bag, whatever you do with it. But it was written by the same guy who wrote the book that supplements the video game you're playing. That'd be sick.
That would, yeah. I mean, you would almost guarantee that you would have good lore at that point because you're
It'd
so
be
immersed
cohesive.
in. Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be
And it,
cohesive. There you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It'd make perfect. You'd read the book and it'd be like, oh, wait, that item right here. Wait, that's this in this game. I don't know.
Yeah, that
Small
would bring
details like that.
that and I know a lot of friends, like I have a lot of friends that are really big into like those type of like video game like minutiaes. They would eat that stuff up.
I am for sure, dude. Dark Souls was
Oh,
my jam, dude.
yeah, yeah.
I was in the lore about that. And if they
I
if they made an Elden Ring book, man,
They should make an Elden Ring book. Why haven't they made these into books?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I've seen they have a Dark Souls a manga. They did a manga. Did you see that?
No.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's I think it was talking about Dark Souls 1. Yeah, it was like the
Dark
the
Souls
complete
1.
story of Dark Souls 1 and like what was really
What?
happening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. It's
Damn,
I don't know
okay.
where I found it. I
I'd
just
look
found
at
it on the
okay.
internet.
Is it
But
fan
I
made?
Yeah, definitely fan made. But
Okay.
like this guy is definitely like Japanese or something because it looked
Okay.
good.
I mean, I obviously now I have a different
Oh, I
attitude
can't hear you.
towards
One
fan.
second.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, was that me? Check one more time.
I don't
Check, check.
know. Check one, two, three.
Yeah,
One,
we're
two,
good. I think
three.
I just loosened the cord or something. All right, as you were saying.
Well, I definitely have a different inclination towards fan fiction now,
Mm,
especially after having done this. Even though I have what I think is a pretty legitimate excuse, but I'm talking like, and I definitely have respect for people who do that, right? And
mm,
definitely it's passion for the video game, but I'm saying a licensed product. Like, listen, I'm a huge fan of the Gears of War books. These are licensed Gears of War novels, the Halo novels, the Mass Effect novels. Like, these were books that I read and reread all the time in college, man.
mm.
The Halo books. And that's oh, I'm right. I mean, if you look at I have my bookshelf over here, and I've got like the Warhammer, Warhammer 40K
Okay.
Eisenhorn stuff. Like this is based on a tabletop miniature game, right?
Mm.
And it's just something special about about the developer for the game saying these are the authors that we hired to write a story about our content, and it is grade A plus quality, like insane. Like some of these, which is kind of sad. If you have you ever heard of the video game Eve Online?
Yeah, 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 I have.
So the very first book that came out is called Eve the Empyrean Age, and it was written um a, like in the infancy of the game, like 10, 20, 15 years ago. And maybe it's not that old, but that book has some of the greatest quality science fiction I've ever read.
Really.
And I put a review on Goodreads saying it's a shame that a lot of people just discard it because it's based off of a video game. Because
Mm.
by itself, you don't need to have ever played Eve Online to read it and just get immersed into the story.
What's it
And
about?
so, huh?
It's just like in a short, like what is it about? I'm all curious now because I have no clue what the Eve Online lore is. So like that's
Right.
I want to know if it's
I
good.
mean, neither did I until I read the book. So
I
basically,
can't hear
Eve
you
Online
again. Is
is
that me? Check, check.
check, check, one, two, three.
I don't hear anything.
Hello, hello, hello. What's
What's
gonna
going
suck is if
on?
this
Here,
whole
give me
time
a
I've been
second.
talking and it's not been recorded.
Check, check. All right, I
Check,
can hear
check,
you.
check. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
everything's good
Okay.
now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm just gonna not move. I'll just be like still.
No, good luck. Good luck. But what I was saying is it's basically about how Eve, the companies, these corporations, and these major players of each corporation do a power play for space. There's this one character that's a prisoner on this planet, and he breaks free trying to lead a resistance that is successful.
Mhm.
And now what do you do with the success, right? And
Yeah.
so that's it's really, I'm telling you, science fiction, like grade A science fiction, extremely innovative. It ends a little bit weird because what it does, you can tell with the moment when the creativity in the world of the author meets the expectations of the developer to set the book up for the game. Because you
Okay.
can almost pinpoint exactly where in the book it happens that he's trying to move these pieces for to set up the video game instead of focusing on the small characters that we have. He broadens the scope of the story to
Mhm.
see the corporations in us. And I in my review I said that's kind of where you lose a lot of the story because you're not focused on the story. You're focused on the video game and the developer's expectations. But but that having been said, it is still worth your time. You still
Yeah.
should absolutely read the Eve the Empyrean Age. If you're a science fiction buff, you should absolutely take the time to read it because those first the first quarter and a half, the first half and then the quarter of the book, amazing, jaw-dropping science fiction. You won't want to drop the book. It is that good.
Sounds good. Yeah, I like a good science fiction, so I would
Mhm.
definitely check it out.
Yeah, Eve the Empyrean Age,
Especially
absolutely.
especially like some space politics, like you
Oh,
know.
dude, you'll love it, man.
Okay, cool,
You'll
cool.
oh yeah, it's like the corporate, the backstabbing, the manipulation, which by
Yeah.
the way, you also have in my book too. Like
Okay.
it's a lot of that, like the devious, like, my character, the only way you can get this guy's past to go to the planet is if you allow yourself to be sexually assaulted by him.
What?
And so now she's like, well, hell no, but I still need to get to the planet. How am I going to get down there? And so then she teams up with another guy that says, well, actually, yeah, you're going to have to do that. So go,
Dang.
so he says, so my advice to you, get a nice red dress. And
Dang.
so now what do you do? Because you have to do this because you have to save your friends that are on the planet and they will die if you don't do it, if you don't do this thing with this creep, this filth,
Yeah.
right? So now what do you do? So my character has to juggle through that, and by the way, she does all this, and I'm not saying she goes through with it. You're gonna have to read the book to see what exactly happens, but she survives all this only to get fired, and and now
Oh,
now what's she gonna do, right? So you
yeah.
have all these twists and turns, and I feel like I've been influenced by such great minds in science fiction to come up with this hopefully, well, this totally unique world and story. So yeah, the cycle origins. You read about all these characters, all these hardships that they go through to survive, and I think one of the mantras is in the story is no risk, no glory.
No risk, no glory. I love
No risk,
that.
no glory. The mantra from the Cycle Frontier video game is fortune favors the bold.
Fortune favors. Oh, dude,
So
those
kind
are
of,
some good. Those are quotable for sure.
yeah.
Like,
So yeah, no risk,
um,
no glory. I don't know if that's entirely unique. I think I might have modified it from somewhere. But what the Cycle Frontier did is fortune favors the bold, and that's Fortuna 3, man.
yeah, you should put that on the book somewhere for sure. Like,
Fortune
just
favors the bold. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah. Oh no, no,
yeah.
no, no, no risk, no
No
glory.
risk, no glory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because that
yeah.
way, if they do give you that cease and desist, it's like, well, tried.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So-
It's gonna suck if I have to take everything about Fortuna
don't
and
worry about it. It's
Osiris
not
and
gonna
all that.
happen. It's not gonna. They're
Maybe
gonna see the
not.
love. They're gonna see. No, they're gonna see it. It's
Yeah,
it's not a.
hopefully,
It's
if
not a
hopefully
hopefully.
they read it
Will they're gonna look
before
at
they
it?
send me the letter.
They're gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, "Bro, we can't stop this
We
guy.
can't, we
He's
can't.
a
No, yeah,
genius.
so
We
many
need
people.
him."
Well, okay, I don't know about that, but
He
he's
no.
passionate at least. He's got
My
the heart.
script says he's a mastermind. Okay.
That, yeah, true. Yeah, that's just a promotional term. Okay, let's not
He's
get
the
carried away with.
mastermind. Okay,
Let's not
I
get
have
carried
only
away with
mastermind friends.
that. Yeah, let's not get carried. It's just promo material. That's all. But
But all right, I have one. All right, I have like one little segue. I do want to talk about your thoughts on AI, and then we could wrap it up.
okay.
What is your experience with AI currently, and how do you feel like it's affecting the like the creative world?
So my current AI experience is zero. I don't use AI. So I might have to use AI. So I kind of coordinate things in my department in radiology at the hospital that I work at, and I have to coordinate schedules and for people, and that's the only time I've used AI. And man, let me tell you, it made my life incredibly easy to just plug in some names into this AI, and it basically does the schedule for working shifts for them, for myself, for them,
Mhm.
and that's it. That's absolutely it. I watch sometimes these Instagram reels where it's like this Yeti or this Bigfoot AI is doing like an outdoor boy style thing, which is fun. That's fun to watch, but that's about it.
Okay. So how do you feel like it's okay, so the reason why I asked is because like I wanted to know like what level of AI experience you have. Me, I've touched like GPT, I've done Mid Journey, I've played with some image generators, I have DeepSeek, I've tried that. I don't really use them for anything that I'm making. I just use them to, just I want to be informed on what our creative potentials are because I've missed out on tools like that in the beginning before, and
Mhm.
I've always kicked myself in the ass when it becomes really a necessary skill down the line. Like, hey, I probably should have learned how to use this when it was younger. Like digital art, I should have freaking did that forever ago. So,
Yeah.
um, these AI tools using like do you understand how they're how the large language models and how some of the image generators work? Like do you know how
No.
like they're created? Okay.
Not
um
even the slightest.
well, I'll pull back the curtain just a smidge. I won't talk your ear off about it, but pretty much the large language models, like they'll scrape the internet. They'll scrape. What I mean by scrape, they'll have certain bots that will take um like comments, any written word, and they'll scrape it off the internet, like websites. They can go and digest the words off the site and like be able to sift through massive amounts of data to compile answers for you. Those are the language models. So those are like GPT. Those are going to be your DeepSeek and stuff like that. So they're trained off of internet data, words. And then you have image models. Image models are created based off of the images that you put in there. So they'll have tons and tons of images that they'll get from the internet, and they've gotten a lot from social media, and that's a big controversy. Is that they're taking art straight from the artists off of social
Hmm.
media because
Yeah.
of the license agreements or the agreements you make by going onto the social media. You
Oh,
lose
so
your rights to
they can take it because
take
you
your
signed
art.
the user agreement.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
you
that's
can opt out.
devious.
You can opt out, but like they make it so complicated to
Yeah.
even know how to do it. I mean, it's possible though. It's not that hard. But it's not easily. You have to look it up. Like you need to look it up
You have
how
to know
to.
what you're doing,
Yeah,
how to do
yeah,
it.
and I think it's so dirty. But
Yeah.
the image generators. So what they'll do is they'll take your image and then they can, if it's trained off enough of it, it can replicate your style. So that's why you see a lot of like the Studio Ghibli looking stuff because
Oh, yes.
there's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
that
That's I
out
saw that
there.
controversy.
Yeah, so I
Uh,
feel like how do you okay, so now that you have that connect, how do you feel about that? Like now that you
so
know
I'll tell you, I hate AI.
okay.
I think AI can be useful, but AI cannot create. It cannot create something out of nothing. So
Hmm.
it can only create out of things that have already been created,
Hmm.
right? And you obviously correct me if I'm wrong, because my knowledge on how the inner workings of it is limited. I had an argument with a friend at work, and he was like, AI is going to take over everything. Movies, AI, completely totally generated. Books, same thing. And me, being an author, saying, no, impossible. Like
Hmm.
the stuff that I wrote in Cycle Origins, you could not replicate on AI
Hmm.
because it has never been written before.
Hmm.
It's completely and totally unique. If you were to say, write me a book about, Ripley from Alien, and then you put into Chat GPT the moments and the events that you want, it's gonna be written from somebody else. Yeah, it's taking it into your box or whatever. And I've heard the argument before, like, oh well, if I didn't say it, it wouldn't have. If I didn't type it in the prompt, it wouldn't have happened. So that's technically me. This is the same thing as writing it. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not your creativity. It's someone else's that the bot came up and brought it to you. That's not the same thing as you writing it from scratch and it's completely your original, completely AI free thing. And I told him, I said, there's something to be said about it though. Like, yeah, AI is impressive, and can you have a movie in AI? Sure. And could it be amazing in the future? Absolutely. But it does not replace human creativity and intellect. Like I still
Yeah.
think that, and I could be the same person that's saying, oh, cars, there's not going to be airplanes, there's not going to be something like that, and then it happens, and now people can fly, and it's like, I don't know, that's kind of a weird example, but my point is, I might be dating myself by saying, oh, there's no way
No.
AI is going to outdo human intellect, but I just don't see it happening. And if it does happen, and I said, let's grant you this. if AI does take over art, movies, music, video games, I think then there's going to be a selling point to saying totally AI free, just like there is handmade, handcrafted, completely no preservatives. Like I went to the farmer's market the other day and I bought honey straight from the beekeepers, and it's like raw honey, no unfiltered BS and all this other stuff. So I think if that does happen, that AI does take over, artists like myself will be able to put AI free in our art. That'll hopefully make it a little bit more appealing to indie consumers.
I think you make a really good point there because I feel like the products made by AI is an AI. It's a recycled product usually. Like I mean,
You
it
can
is what it is.
tell. I mean, right now
I,
you can tell.
right now, yeah. I mean, they're
Yeah.
getting good. They're getting
Yeah.
good at
Yeah.
creating the illusion of novelty. But I think that ultimately, like they can come up with a concept. The concept has to come from the creative source of a human interaction for sure. But I do believe that in the future it will like there will be a distinction between an AI creation or an AI product and a handmade thing. And I do believe that anything made with the love and passion of an artist will always have like an infinite more value than a more I mean a generated subject because it's that's coming specifically from somebody's perspective. Like that's all art is taking data and then you are that generator. You're that
Yeah.
perception in which all that information gets filtered through. And I think that there's no way you could build a robot that can replace how important the human perspective and the lived experience of that artist is. And I think that that's the reason why we love things like Studio Ghibli and like all these other, big titles that have made lore rich and in art, fantasy arts and all that like. So live like that's what breathes life into it is you're seeing the soul of the artist is what I'm trying to get at. And
Yeah. You
so
can't replicate that. I don't think
no,
AI cannot do that.
it needs because because they're none of the creations are perfect. Like when a human makes it, it will never be perfect. But the imperfections are there because they are the one who created it, and those
Mhm.
imperfections are just within us. But those are the things that make us beautiful, unique, and our
Right.
perspectives worth
100%.
even investing in. So
Yeah.
I just
Absolutely. Hmm.
I want good things for AI because I feel like it can be used
Absolutely.
for some really good things. I
It's
think we're
making
gonna
my
use it
life
wrong.
easier.
Think we're gonna use wrong first because that's what we do. I
Uh-huh.
mean, as humans, like we have to stick our finger in the light socket first,
Yep.
usually, to
Yep.
realize, and
Exactly.
we have to do it a few times too. So hopefully we are smart enough to maybe not use a fork, maybe just touch it a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe.
And it doesn't mess up things too much. But I want to see good things for it.
Yeah.
I guess one of my biggest concerns is like I'm especially hearing about it, like how it's affecting things in school with kiddos, like they're not
Oh,
learning things, because
they're
they
going
have
back to what is it? Handwritten projects where
good.
you have to actually write it with pencil,
That's
So
I
that's
think
kind
that
of going,
actually
it's
might
retro.
save everything. Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
going
going
analog
retro. Yeah. Yeah,
is
you
it
can't you
might
can't
save the
be
world
yeah.
from the AI menace. Well, I wouldn't call it a menace. It's just the
It's just it's a
conflagration. Like I don't
tool
know.
that's used, a tool that's used to make life easy, but that's sometimes life, I mean, especially in school if you're learning stuff, it shouldn't be easy.
Yeah,
It
you
shouldn't
should not
always be
use
easy. I
AI
don't know.
for learning. Like that's not a smart. Like not for learning new things. You
No.
can use it for practice now.
No.
Like if you need it because it's great at teaching you how to do shit you don't know how to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
And
ever like asked chat like I know you
oh,
said you haven't used it, but like chat one of the things I've used Chat GPT for is like, hey, I have a project or like something I'm trying to do, but I have like no connection to how to do this thing. How would I
yeah.
even start? And you can actually prompt it. It can teach you how to do something. That actually I think is a superpower because not everyone is easily able to learn a new skill without a teacher or be but now it hallucinates too, so it might not
Oh.
always tell you the right thing either. So you have to
Oh,
do
okay.
you
So you
gotta
have
do
to be
your
careful
homework.
with it. Hmm.
Yeah, like don't take everything it says verbatim, definitely,
Yeah.
because they say that they can hallucinate up to like at a rate of like 75%. So it can get really off. Don't
Hmm.
use it for legal stuff.
Yeah.
I just
Right.
You know, there that I hate to get a little political. It's not a political stance, but it's kind of like this is what's happening right now in the works. With that big beautiful bill that came out, the OBBBB is three B's. Anyway,
Mhm.
that just happened, and it's still getting pushed through. But within that document, within like that 1,000 page document, there's one page that says that the federal government will have regulation power over AI on all 50 states for the next 10 years. And that sucks. Like, I don't think that's very
Yeah.
smart to do, but also, I think that that's something that, like, might prevent us from putting our finger in the light switch too much. So, I don't, how do you feel about giving the federal government regulation control over AI and how
Hmm.
to use it? As someone that
Well,
doesn't know a lot about, all the stuff and things, I just want your pure opinion.
I don't know. How do I say this? I'm not I'm not big into people telling me what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? I'm that kind of person. I don't like the federal government very much. I don't care who's in control. So I think, having giving power to people who tell you how to live your life is never a good idea. Especially as Americans, this is a very un-American thing to do, right?
Mhm.
So, but I don't know, man. I, I don't know how it could be used. I don't know what kind of control they're looking for. Like, what would
True.
it mean to control AI in that way? I really don't understand how it would affect us.
Hmm.
Um, like what? Like, yeah, I'm trying to even think of an example. I don't know what they could. So what? I do an AI picture or something, and now I have to. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now I have to pay them or a tax
I
or
don't know about
something.
tax. No, I think it's
I don't
for
know.
like what products and how companies can use AI, like
Well, if they're
in
regulating companies, that's I mean,
yeah, that's
companies
I
are
think
different from
it's
people.
for yeah, it's for companies, businesses, and states. They're trying to regulate like the usage of AI and like how it's being rolled out because it has the potential to be a highly disruptive thing. I mean, it
Yeah.
can. I mean, it's to the point now where it can make videos that are near indistinguishable with audio. If
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that's
I
some of
get
the
it.
reels that I was telling you about the
Yeah.
Yeti guy that's like doing a outdoor vlog on, on like life and like being outdoors and everything. They're funny, but I can definitely see how it looks really real. You can still tell, like there's always that
Yeah.
one little tell, but I'll be honest, I don't know enough about that aspect. I don't know enough about AI to have a firm stance on it. Um, so I don't know what else to tell you about that.
All right. All right. That's good. I feel like when it comes to that stuff, I want good things for us. And I think
Yeah,
that it's important that we protect our artists. I think it's
I
really
agree.
important that we protect our creators in general. There's so much that comes from the hard work and passion of artists that work really hard. And I don't want us to lose sight of that. I know we can't because we're always gonna make new generations of artists. It'll never go away. I firmly believe that. But I do believe that it can be supported instead of stifled. And I feel like artists for a long time, creators of all sorts, writers too, have always, always, always had it rough. Like we do not support the people who create the culture in which we live in. And instead, we make it hard. And then the culture that we live in is corporate, and it sucks. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the most important thing, and just a message to the audience that you can do, is to find your creators out there that you love, that you appreciate their create, and you support them as much as you can because those are the people who make the stuff, man. If it's not
Yeah.
not them, it's
The
it's
small
it's, it's
grassroots artists, you're absolutely correct. They're the ones that they may not have the means, they may not have the reach, the media, um, the media outlet, but I mean, that's their baby, right? They're extremely passionate about the art they create. And yeah, I meet artists like this everywhere at the book fest. I'm going to meet them at the Ren Fair.
Mhm.
People that are just extremely passionate about their craft, about their art. So, 100%.
One more time for everyone else, where could we find your next projects, your websites? One more time, just hit it up for us.
Yep. So my name is JM Top I'm John is my name. And you can find me at jmtop.com. That's my website. And I will have once July 7th comes around, I'm going to put up the Cycle Origins. It's the name of this novella, and it's a prequel to the Cycle Frontier, completely fan made. So you can access this absolutely for free. It'll be available on Kindle, ebook, and then keep an ear out because the audiobook version is going to be coming out. I'm voicing a character. My best friend is a sound engineer, and he does voiceover and audio episodes. So this is his wheelhouse. So I know we're going to make a very intriguing and interesting audiobook on this novella. And it's kind of like a jumping off point because if this goes well, then we are going to do my other projects, hopefully, or other smaller things, or even a big thing. Maybe even doing an actual full length novel
Oof.
would be absolutely cool to do.
All right, man. Well, I hope and I support you guys fully. I can't wait. I'm gonna check it out for sure. I've
Yeah,
always been a big supporter of all your things.
I'm gonna try to be at Bookfest.
Okay.
I'll be at the Renaissance Fair, October, I believe it's October 28th of this year.
Uh,
No, it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th, I believe.
uh,
I just had it pulled up. Uh, oh man, I'm actually just nope, that's not it. There's one in July,
uh,
Rentopia. That's it. So it's called
Rentopia.
Rentopia, October
Okay.
25th through 26th. That's where it is. So
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll have my own stall there. I'm going to be in some kind of character or whatever. And so that's where I'll be at the Rentopia Renaissance Fair in Northwest Arkansas. If you're around, you can always swing by and I'll say hi, of course.
All right.
It'll be really
Again,
nice to see you.
support those creators. Thank you for having spending some time with me, catching up.
Thanks for
I
having
can't
me.
wait for just more collaborative efforts. It'll be awesome. And
Absolutely.
I appreciate you so much. You have a great one.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, you too.
Bye.